crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Happy Proof of Keys Day! For those of you who forgot, every year crypto people decide they're going to prove their sovereignty, their monetary sovereignty, by taking all their coins off the exchanges. Interesting that it's happening right now is we have little exchanges freezing for a time for maintenance. As we've seen, every time it gets busy, they freeze for maintenance. Don't forget, Mt. Gox froze for maintenance and never opened up again. So yeah, welcome to the crypto world. A lot of newbies saying, "Oh my God, I got cryptos on SimpleSwap that I tried to swap for Theta and it's not working, and they're not giving me my coins back." Stay on them. A lot of the exchanges that legitimate ones that happened are seeing their coins appear. It's dog eat dog, and there's really no recourse other than to really pound on them. This is the crypto world when it gets busy, and a lot of fraud goes on the exchange level. This is not your mother's stock market. Crypto exchanges are notoriously criminal. They will go down for maintenance, yes, Coinbase included. They will go down for maintenance at the worst time because they want to load up on coins that they don't have. So let the buyer beware. Caveat emptor. All right, but proof of keys. Trace Mayer started this a few years back. Unbelievable idea. Go to proofofkeys.com. If your cryptos aren't off the exchanges by now, I don't know what to tell you. We are literally, I actually put a warning up at roadrunner.com on the Theta page. Let me read it to you. Alert before you start investing in cryptos, Theta, or anything. We are in the hot zone for a financial collapse that may crash, destroy, freeze all markets and exchanges for an unspecified amount of time. Be advised that they may all go to zero, and or you may not know the value of any of your assets for months. Get all assets in your own possession to ride out the chaos now. We're in that time. At some point, we're going to see a lot of these crypto exchanges freeze. We're going to see the New York Stock Exchange freeze. We're going to see the COMEX, the LBMA, your bank account, everything freeze. So I don't know what day it's going to happen. And it might not be a day. It might be over a couple months. We'll see little jolts and jitters. So definitely get your assets in your own possession. As far as like SimpleSwap went down for a while yesterday, it's back up and running. If you have a transaction that didn't go through, you don't know what's happening, get in contact with them. That's the only thing you can do is go after them. Obviously, they're very busy when stuff like this happens. Keep after it. I would like to show you Theta, which is doing unbelievably well. But when this happened, when all the small exchange type places that Americans can get Theta took a hiccup, Theta pulled back from 240 down to 210. And I had an email from someone saying, "Oh my God, look how far it fell down. It must be everybody on SimpleSwap." That's partially it, but think about it. Americans are having a very hard time getting Theta. I recommend Caleb and Brown. As a broker, they'll deal with all the bullshit. And the reality is, think about it. If these little exchanges go down, what's going to happen? And it causes such a hiccup in Theta. What is going to happen when Coinbase adds Theta to their list of tokens? I mean, doubling, tripling, quadrupling, I don't know. There is so much demand for Theta right now. That's why these little places are going down on their Theta trades, I think. Who knows? Nobody knows. Theta is definitely going into the top 3. I think this year, I put out a target yesterday. $88.88 is where I see it by the end of the year. Now, it might go down to 2 cents before we get there. We might see a flash crash. I don't know. That's why it's so important to have them in your own possession. Don't look at the daily price craziness. the idea is you're going to own Theta for the rest of your life. And you pass it on to your kids. You spin the Theta fuel. Or spin Theta if you want. So, lots coming for Theta this year. The mass marketing campaign of mass marketing campaigns hasn't started yet. Coinbase edition hasn't started yet. A lot of things. Everybody's going to be running a edge node and sharing their bandwidth because it's free to do. You should be doing it now. Go to thetatoken.org if you want to download the edge node and start earning Theta fuel. You can't pull it off that exchange yet because the SEC would call that a security or something. The SEC is a joke. So yeah, check that out. Simple Swap's back up. These things are going to go down. In one day they'll go down for good. It's like Mt. Gox did, and you'll be in a bankruptcy that lasts for 7 years. I guess I still have one Bitcoin in Mt. Gox. Of course, they've diluted the value of it. They say it's worth $400 because that's how much it was worth the day of. Criminal. Chris Giancarlo, the head of the CFTC, along with Donald Trump, Steve Mnuchin, Michael Cohen, when they crashed the Bitcoin bubble, as they called it in 2017, they took many of the Mt. Gox Bitcoin to slam the market. Completely, ridiculously illegal and criminal. That's stealing from people in bankruptcy. But that's, hey, welcome to the world of the U.S. government and the power brokers who control the monetary system. And no, XRP is not the solution. All right, so proof of keys. Trace Mayer's the man. Let's listen to a little of what Trace has to say. If you go to proofofkeys.com, you'll get more Trace. Trace is an amazing guy. I've followed him for years, and we've done interviews together. He's the man. Listen to what he says.
Hey, Trace Mayer from the Bitcoin Knowledge Podcast. So I'm going to start a new cultural tradition for the Bitcoin community. It's called the Proof of Keys Celebration. The Genesis block, it came out on January 3rd. Satoshi, there's Bitcoin white paper. And as Andreas has said, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. So on this Proof of Keys celebration, what we're going to do is we're going to withdraw all of our Bitcoin from any third-party services just to prove that they're there, right? It's either on the blockchain or it didn't happen. Why would we want to do this? Well, we got lots of new people that have come into the community, and I think it's important for us to declare and redeclare our monetary sovereignty on a regular basis. Anybody who doesn't want you to hold your own private keys or do your own network consensus, they're your monetary enemy. They don't want you to be free and independent with your money. So, that's just the way it is. So,
yeah, I love him. Go listen to the whole thing. Basically, he says, all these exchanges claim that their customers have their coins on. Let's all pull them off today, January 3rd. Pull them off just to prove it. You can put it on the next day. You'd be crazy too, but you can. Get your coins out of these exchanges. And don't, I get people, well, what about this? What about Coinbase? What about Gemini? What about Kraken? What about some crazy exchange I have never heard of? Or they won't let me transfer out. That means they don't have your coins. We have to, I know there's a lot of newbies out, and this is like crazy world time for you guys. Take a breath, learn as much as you can. Go to the Crypto University, which is YouTube. The YouTube search function, you can find out anything. You can find out anything on the YouTube search function. That's where we all learned. That's where you need to go to learn. So thank you, Trace, once again, for proving to the world that we do control cryptos. But it takes your responsibility. It's your responsibility to pull these coins off the exchanges. All right, let's see where we are. I am, as far as Theta, great time, always in Theta. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Yes, there will be spikes and peaks and troughs, and you haven't lived until you lived through a 90% drop in your coin. 90%. Can you imagine Theta dropping 90% from here down to 20 cents? It can happen easily. I don't think it's going to happen yet, but it will at some point. Can you HODL for a couple years. The Bitcoin people right now who hodled for the last 3 years, they earned their money because they hodled. Hodling is not easy. And everyone's, oh, why didn't you sell at 18,000 and then buy back at 5,000? And you could do that if you know when the bankers are going to crash the coins. Anyway, hodlers always win in the long run if you pick the right coins. Theta is the right coin for the future. Absolutely. So bravo, everybody who's got in. But it's risky now to get in. It's risky to throw Bitcoin up for a swap. Simple swaps back up, but for how long? I don't know. Hang in there. Fight the good fight. As I said I talked to Litecoin Lisa on her channel the other day. Go check that out. ICOs are going to come into, and Cliff was talking to me about this also. ICOs that ICO'd in the past, the initial coin offerings where they raised all this cash. It was ICO frenzy in 2017. They are not out of the woods. Unless they've already settled with the SEC, they are not out of the woods. And there's a Financial Times article yesterday that is like, okay, all right, today or yesterday, that basically lays down a little truth and knowledge that of what is coming. People will be dragged into the street on their ICOs and say, who was involved? How much money was your money grab? Was there any sales before the ICO was there any information before the ICO that you didn't tell people about? And some of these cryptos will be taken down for it. Even if they're out of the U.S., you don't want the regulators dragging your name through the mud. I mean, cryptocurrencies are fickle by nature. So if you're out of the U.S. regulators, I hear that from some people about some coins, it doesn't matter. The SEC can destroy you with a blink of an eye. So make sure you're in the right coins. Check out if your coin ICO'd back in the early days. Figure out, hey, did they do it correctly? Nobody did, according to the SEC. We don't know if the SEC is going to come down on everybody. Bitcoin Ben was saying the SEC is not going to be around in 6 months. I would love a world like that. But that's a world full of fraud. Just mind you, that is like taking the handcuffs off anything, and most people would not invest at all at that point, which they probably shouldn't today because the SEC is picking winners and losers. So I do think there's going to be a crackdown on ICOs as we transition out of the old system into the new system. Those who have gone through the gauntlet, they're pretty much good now. I mean, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash have all been deemed okay by the SEC. Obviously, the Ken fight with the SEC was ugly. Ken went down massively, and now it's going up. Why? Because they settled. Salt has settled. Veritasium has settled. EOS has settled, although I'd go revisit that if I was the SEC. But I'm not the SEC. And then perhaps XRP is in the middle of settling. I don't know. I wouldn't touch that coin with a 10-foot pole, as you guys know. It doesn't mean it won't go up. EOS, they raised $4 billion in their ICO. Obviously, people got rich. I wouldn't touch that coin with a 10-foot pole. So pick your winners and losers and know the reason behind it. And we move on from here. But yeah, ICOs, keep that in the back of your mind. By the way, Bill Gates, this guy, I read this article. I'm like, what the hell is going on? We have a lot of revelations. Lockdown proponent Bill Gates quietly funding a plan to dim the sun's rays. A project conducted by the Harvard University scientists and funded largely by Microsoft founder Bill Gates to test the sun dimming technology to cool global warming is quietly moving forward in Sweden. Reuters reports that the Harvard project plans to test out controversial theory that global warming can be stopped by spraying particles into the atmosphere that would reflect the sun's rays. They've been doing it since the 1950s. I don't know. It's bizarre. But at the same time, remember what I've been screaming. At the time we become free, there's going to be all kinds of revelations. We know we need the truth on everything. On everything. Chemtrails obviously have been going on. Look up in the sky. I wrote a song about it. Look at all the researchers that have measured the amount of aluminum oxide, chromium, borium, you name it, is being sprayed down on us. A lot of it was initially to protect us from the sun's rays. But here's the other thing. You're also blocking out the vitamin D, Bill Gates. You get all your vitamin D from the sun. Would you want to block the vitamin D intake of humans so that they have to take your vaccine? Anyway, it is insane, right? Stuff like this hitting the mainstream that, oh, Bill Gates is going to spray us. We've been sprayed for, I can't even tell you how many years. Well, yeah, since the 50s, at least. So, there you go. There's your moment of truth day. Hey, this is year one, baby. Year one's going to be crazier than year zero. Hang on tight. I do want to say I am putting up part 2. I was supposed to put it up last night. I didn't get done editing it. And I don't do much editing. I just talk about what we talk about. But the Jenny Moonstone reading is going to be about silver, Theta, and Veritasium. We discussed all 3 of those. That will be coming up on the private road later today. Again, yesterday or day before yesterday, I posted the view of Trump versus Biden and 2021 view of Trump versus Biden. We talk about what she sees and XRP versus myself and Jenny. We are warriors against that criminal coin. Speaking of warriors, she's off to D.C. on January 6th. She's a fighter. That girl's a fighter. And she got some silver brass knuckles that I'm so jealous of. I swear, she got one of her customers sent her silver brass knuckles. And she's like, check these out. I'll put it on the cover of the video that we do that I post later today. Awesome freedom fighter out there, and she's headed to Washington. So look out, Washington D.C. Jenny Moonstone's on her way. All right, if you want to join the private road at Road to Ruta, I have tokens in my own possession that I will send you 10 tokens, 10 Theta tokens, and 10 Theta fuel tokens with every subscription. When it hits $3, we're changing this number again. Remember, it used to be 100 tokens, and then it went to 50, and then it went to 25, and then now it's a 10. It's going to be dropping to 1, and then we'll probably stop. So if you want 10 Theta tokens and are afraid of using Simple Swap, which you should be, join the private road. It's $2.99 for a year. Those people who joined at the 100 level got 100 tokens back in October. Your subscription's almost already paid for within a couple months. I do see Theta really moving a lot higher this year. I think it's the same. Last year it moved 40x. $5 to $2. I see the same move. 40x from $2 to $88. Approximately. I think it ended the year at $2.22, which would be a 40x move would be $8.88. And remember, was it China or throughout Asia, 8s are absolutely good luck, financial good luck. 888. And if you look at the G Pool address, all kinds of 8s in that. They did that on purpose. So yes, definitely get your Theta any way you can, if you can. And it's exciting. It's an exciting time for humanity. But be prepared for everything to crash, everything to go to zero. And you just sitting back with your assets in your own possession, hodling your way through it. Because there will be a brighter day if you invest in the right things. Silver, I'll be talking about silver a lot this week and next week. Why? Because now's your last chance to get it. Last chance to get physical silver in your own possession. Make it happen. It's Bix Weir. RoadToRuta.com. I'll talk to you later.